my psychic series on psychic abilities. Okay, my perspective on those. Alright, so tonight's video basically is going to be about clairsentience. And basically what that means is clear feeling. Now a lot of people have heard the terminology empath. Basically, and you'll see little memes and things like that talk about empaths and what they, for me, what empaths experience is basically they're experiencing empathy. So they're able to relate and connect to people's emotions. And so that's why it's called clear sensing. That's what it's defined as. So, some memes I don't agree with because they'll give you 15 different abilities that say you might be an empath if you experience this. Well, empath is not so much as a psychic ability. It's more of a title of what you're defining yourself as. But the ability that empaths have is clairsentience, clear sensing. And that means they can have, they are sensing people's emotions, their feelings, their pain, so that it's clear sensing. Not so much as like if some memes or whatever that you see on Facebook or in groups, they'll say, oh, you're this, and that, and you'll have clairaudience. But to me, that's not what that is, And a lot of people might disagree, but, being an empath is not a psychic ability. Remember, that is a title. Alright, that's defining what you are. The ability that empaths have that defines them connecting to other people and being able to feel other people's emotions is clairsentience, clear sensing. Okay, so an example of this is, and a lot of people, if you've heard of empathy pains, or like sometimes husbands will, get the same, will get morning sickness, or they'll be the ones that get morning sickness. That's because you basically have merged energy with your mate or your lover or your wife, girlfriend, whatever, and you are basically feeling what they feel. And so that happens, especially like if you're soulmates or twin flames or whatever you want to whatever you want to call them. But that is basically what that is. It's just another level or form of empathy. All right, so there's a difference, between sympathy and empathy. Sympathy is just being able to feel sorry or feel for someone. But empathy is actually feeling what they experience. Now, when I say I'm an empath, I'm an empath. There's different types of empaths. I'm not going to go into that right now because that's a whole nother topic. But if you're ever curious, the main thing, if you're the type of person that feels other people's stuff, emotions, are sensitive when it comes to watching certain movies, if you're the type of person that say you're playing a video game and you're on like a big tall tower or something on the game, and you look down and you feel like needles go down through your stomach, that's clairsentience. Or if you see somebody in a fight and you see them get hit and you feel it like it was your own and you can't bear to watch, or you're actually overly concerned about that person, then that means you are an empath with clairsentience abilities. So that basically defines that. For me, it's always that, I feel it basically with the sex chakra or the sacral chakra is where I feel it. That and right below the solar plexus is if I'm seeing somebody get hurt or hit, that's where I feel it, and it makes sense because that's where we're normally connected. Now, one could argue and say that maybe, is it that if you're an empath or if you have clairsentience, they might say, well, you experience that with everyone. I could say that, maybe the person that you are, feeling that with, you may not have been anything with them in this life, maybe in the past life they were lovers, or they were family members or something like that, and you're feeling them on that level. That's why you're still connected to them on the soul level. There's been a few, I would say just one person that I felt the real empathy with as far as like a lover, and that was the twin flame situation I was in, which I'll probably do a video on that later on. But it's a very controversial subject, So, but if you feel people's stuff, that's basically what that is, and just know, people tell you you're too sensitive or whatever, don't listen to them, embrace your ability, strengthen it, learn how to protect yourself. For me, I had people that, I'm really, especially the more I meditate, do the energy work, really have that clairsentience ability, uh, which makes sense because you open up your chakras and you're connected to the universe, and basically everyone in the universe is a part of the universe, so it makes sense to feel the universe on that level. But I went into Scarefest one time, and I remember there was a bunch of psychics there telling me, oh, you got to protect yourself. And they just didn't know what they were talking about in regards to what I was saying, because I wouldn't go back to that place because there was so much lower emotions and vibrations. And I mean, if you think about you going to Scarefest, it's a place in, it's an event, that they used to, I don't know if they still do it or not, but they hosted Lexington. And, you have a bunch of horror maniacs there, people that just love horror films and stuff, and that's for you, to each his own. But when you start doing psychic abilities and stuff like that, it's very, or basically increasing your psychic abilities and meditation and stuff like that, it can be very, very hard to deal with that. And there's not a whole lot of people that I've met in my lifetime that, whether they're psychics or not, even if they're psychics, not a whole lot of them that I've met personally do the same type of energy work that I do, or the level of energy work that I've done. So they can't relate. They say, oh, you got to put that shield up. When I went into Scarefest, I forgot who I was, because I absorbed so much stuff, and I meditated before I went so I would be calm. But because I meditated before I went, I opened myself up, and then I was basically like a beacon. So I was, I'm that type of empath. Come in, absorb everybody's stuff, take it with me, and then figure out how to transmute it. So it's like an energy transmuter, or an energy alchemist, where you take everything that is heavy and dense and you change it into more of a lighter frequency. So that's kind of like what I am. It's very difficult for me to go into Walmart or any place if I meditate before I go in there, because then I will pick up everything. As I've grown older and wiser and stronger, in spirit, I can go in those places and pretty much not even think about it. But I've also learned how to, program charms and amulets and things like that to protect me, so I don't have to protect myself all the time. Like, I wear a charm right now. I found this system that basically where you can take any type of object and basically place a protection spell on it. So therefore, it kind of numbs you to your external environment. So that helps a whole lot. And any empath, that's out there that watches this video that can relate to what I'm talking about, I do recommend that, because even if you are like me and you're an energy alchemist or a transmuter, it still can be very difficult and hard. That one time when I went into the Scarefest thing, that was crazy, because everything that everybody told me in there was like, it didn't work. I've already tried all that, done that work. But yeah, it took me like a week to get right. After that, I forgot it. I remember I was doing I was in taking a law of attraction class at that time, and I had consumed so much stuff from that event that I forgot everything I learned and just was not myself. And I remember I got this one little prayer that I said that actually came out of a tarot deck that I purchased. And it cleared me right up as soon as I said it. I'd already tried several different things, so there's different things out there that work for different people. But mine was more. It was more of a concern and more of a powerful thing. And not everybody is going to relate. I mean, if you're a psychic, you're going to know other psychics, or if you know about those abilities, you're going to meet people with those abilities. But like I said, very few people that have the exact same ones I have or experience them the way that I do. There's some that some people that I've been around that are psychics that I'm just still like, wow, the stuff that you have, I wish that I had. But everybody has it on a different level. So, but that's basically what I have for you on my perspective as far as the empath ability and clairsentience. So thank you for watching, and this is Metaphysics, and that's been my perspective.